How you doing, fan bam? This is Chris Muso here, and we're going to do some benchmarks on Intel's i9-12900K. If you haven't checked out the build just quite yet, make sure you click the card right above me to see it in action. And also, if you just want to see the benchmarks before the build, you could always check it out in the description down below, because I will also have it posted down there. I'm going to speak about Intel's i9-12900K briefly, but if you already feel like you know everything about Intel's new processor, you can go down to the description box, as I also have timestamps posted down below if you want to get into any desired chapter that you want to see. This is more for everybody who is just starting to get back into building PCs or just wants to be more educated on the subject. Whether you're new or if you're just getting into PCs and you just want to learn more about Intel's brand new processor, you came to the right place. Or if you're just starting a brand new build and you have an older build and you're thinking about building a PC, you also came to the right place. You just want to know the specs of the latest and greatest. Although you may have heard already that AMD is already making Intel eat dirt. And honestly, that isn't a lie. That much is true. Intel really started spiraling down, especially after the 9th generation chipset. And they really started disrespecting the consumers at the 10th generation line because the 9th generation processors were performing better than their 10th gen. Now, I'm not saying that Intel is just straight pure garbage, but they did start improving after the 11th generation. By then, it was a little bit too late to recover, and it was kind of hard to win the consumers back, especially that AMD was way ahead and they actually listened to the consumers and improved on their technology. Intel realized that they were going into the wrong direction. AMD was already improving, adding 7nm chipsets in their processors. AMD is now continuing forward and using 5nm chipsets. The new rumor is AMD may be also using a hybrid design similar to Alder Lake. We'll talk more about that once I have more information, and I'll share it with you guys. Intel really started feeling the repercussions, so they hired Pat Gelsinger. Intel's focus really started to change, so they had Rocket Lake, and then they really put more focus on Alder Lake, which we have now. Alder Lake is just codename for Intel's 12th generation chipset, which is their latest and greatest of Q4 of 2021. Alder Lake is a hybrid design processor which uses Golden Cove's performance cores, and they also use Grayspot's E cores. So what is P cores? What is E cores? A really quick breakdown of that is P core and E core, one is more for power and the E is more for efficiency. This hybrid is Intel's combined design of power and efficiency cores together. What it will do will give more power to a single core processor, which helps many other tasks such as gaming and multitasking. It can boost up gaming by 20 to 30% in FPS. And more games do not just rely on a graphics card anymore, but they could also use the CPU in it as well. So you have the combination of graphics and CPU power, which will make the game run a lot more smoothly. And it also improves functionality. Intel's Core i9-12900K uses a 5.2 GHz clock speed, compared to the predecessor of i9's 11900K, and it also improves general performance by 19%. This CPU uses a TDP aka PL1, Intel's aka PBP of 125 watts base power, and PL2 aka Intel's maximum turbo. I know that is a mouthful, but it is up to 241 watts. Come on, Intel, enough with the name changing. We just want to see performance. Anyway, because of how much wattage they can receive in these processors, it still can build up a decent amount of heat. Could that really be problematic during our benchmark testing? Intel's i9-12900K also uses 16 cores and up to 24 threads. There's 2 threads per P core and there's 1 thread per E core, and has up to 30 megabytes of cache. Intel's new design also requires a new type of socket. Instead of LGA's 1200, they will be using LGA's 1700. Currently, because it is a new processor, not a lot of coolers are compatible with it, so you will have to get different types of standoff screws or different types of sets. Even motherboards are render a little bit incompatible. Again, that's a whole nother discussion to get into. The new design does bring a Z690 board. It does have support for XMP 3.0, which supports DDR5, and you also have PCI Express 5.0. Right now, there is no use of PCI Express 5.0, but the rumor is Q1 of 2022 that Nvidia RTX 3090 Ti will be released, and that will be PCI Express 5.0. And Asus ROG Thor 2 is also supposed to be released in the beginning of the year. That is supposed to be compatible with Nvidia's RTX 3090 Ti. But my personal opinion, it's probably overkill for many people, because yet we still have used all the graphics possible even in PCI Express 4.0. Asus's Z690 Maximus Hero does include a PCI Express 5.0 slot where you can actually add NVMe 5.0 into it so you can put it in your compatible PCI Express 5.0 slot, which will be double the speed of PCI Express 4.0, which would be a really nice feature. So would that really cause a large improvement when that is released? Wait till you hear this, because you got to know about the pricing, especially because in the first release, when Intel i9's 12900K, when they were first released, they were charging $649.99 USD to purchase it. And it was pretty hard to get for most people, and as you saw, a lot of people were overcharging for it temporarily. But they realized that Intel had made plenty of processors to the point where they actually even dropped the price down to $599.99. AMD's Ryzen 5950X you can pick up for $709.99. It is a little bit more expensive. You'll be running off of 16 cores and 32 threads, so you do have a higher core count, which is a big plus on your side if you're more worried about more multitasking abilities or if rendering capabilities, if that's what you're looking for. But if you're looking for more of single core performance, 12900K may just do that. This is also not a comparison video between the two, between Intel's 12900K and AMD's 5950X. That will be discussed in a whole nother video. This will be strictly about Intel's i9 12900K benchmarks. Without further ado, I'm going to bring you straight to the benchmarks and we can discuss it together. So first, I got to share with you the specs of this PC, and I got to update you on what I've done. Since you first saw how I built the PC, I didn't really like the setup too much because I had 3 push fans and I had 3 pull fans. So what I did was I added 3 extra push fans to make sure I get better intake flow into the case, because you want to have better intake flow more than exhaust. Another thing I've also added, and I've also flipped around the CPU cooler. I like the piping on the top of the CPU because I feel the gravity would also help it. But because the way this cooler is designed, there's no way to rotate the screen, the LCD screen. It would be a big plus if you were able to do that. So as you see right here, I'm running some benchmarks in the background, and we're gonna go straight to it, and I'm gonna talk to you more about it. guys, I hope you found this content very useful. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up. And also, if you know anyone who is interested in getting an Intel i9-12900K, make sure you share this video with them. And also, if you're not part of the big wonderful fan band, make sure you go down and hit the subscribe button for more. And also, don't forget to hit the notification button. For all the newest updates, make sure you follow my Twitter handle right here, as it is the same as my TikTok and IG as well. What do you think of Intel's new processor? Is it swaying you to switch sides, or are you just going to sit and be patient and see what AMD has to offer next? Let me know in the comments down below, and let me know what you want to see next. FanBam guys, I do have a contest going on. If you are not part of it, make sure you join it. It is down in the description box down below. And it is a big thank you to everybody who is part of the FanBam, because I have to give something back to you guys. I am very grateful that we reached the level that we are at now, and the capabilities can just continue to grow, especially here with all of us. And I want to give out a NVMe 4.0 Sabrent Rocket Plus 1 terabyte drive, and all you have to do is go down to the description box down below to hit that link and make sure you join the contest so you have a chance to win. There's only 2 weeks left in this contest, and make sure you give yourself a chance to win this 1 terabyte beast. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is Chris Mizo signing out.